people with convictions, though, you know? I don't know, I think his perspective on, the life issues is questionable, and.
Oh, now, if you wanna talk about whether I believe what he says, yeah, that's a whole different issue. I agree with you,
So
I
is
think.
he just a puppet? I mean, is that what it just, that's what it feels
Aren't
like
they all
he is.
though?
Well, I hope they're not all, but I mean, they all are to some degree, but he feels, it seems like he is more than anybody else. Oh, man.
I mean, you think about the stuff they say, and it's like, are you serious? You really,
Yeah.
you know?
I think that's why people like him, because it seems like he's giving voice to all these things that we're all so frustrated with, you know?
Well, I mean, like, illegal immigration, I think, is a major problem in this country.
Well, his law is no solution.
No, enforcing the laws we have.
Well, yeah. The laws we have are complicated, hi.
But I'm
Nice to see you here.
Okay.
No, it's
Yeah.
been like,
You have a,
yeah, like last week was Tom.
Oh,
And I was doing
gosh.
stuff for that, and the week before I was helping my son ask a girlfriend around. It was like,
Oh,
stupid stuff, but
yeah.
so important. It's always important. What?
You want to say that here,
Always
so
important.
you can
Oh, yeah, we have lots of important, and both my sons are graduating. and
right in the mix.
we have the confirmation,
Get up there where you can get there, right?
all this stuff.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
All right, happy Wednesday. Got kind of a short class today, but anybody didn't see the email. We are gonna be done around just before 8 o'clock. So we're gonna run a little bit. We're gonna try to get a lot of information in the head. Just some announcement stuff. We're gonna have this webcast going all the time, but we're not encouraging you to sit at home and use it. All right, we prefer you here so we can communicate as human beings communicate with each other, and you can be more involved. As you know, they don't really have the ability to ask questions and such. It's a little, we'll get there one day, but we really want you here even though we have that. If you're looking for it, John, I assume you use YouTube, right? Go to
yeah, YouTube, Strategize Wealth Management channel.
And we have our channel there. Normally, whatever we do is there until we do something else,
Right there.
and then it replaces it.
So you should go in on YouTube and subscribe to Strategize Wealth Management.
Okay? And you can find us, and these classes will be there for a short period of time. We're gonna find a way to log some of them. But that's first thing. Try to be here in person as much as you can. What's coming at you next couple of weeks is important. Next Wednesday, Joe Cronin from American Funds will be here. Okay, those that were at the breakfast yesterday, they know that it was oh my God, right? I mean, it's the information you get is second to none, and he's coming here with one goal: to answer the question, what should I do with a client that has an issue with index funds and doesn't want to pay sales charges? Okay, that's what he's coming here for, to answer that, right? The clients that think that Vanguard or index funds are the way to go, he is coming here to show you how to overcome that. We also have being mailed here a bunch of literature from American Funds on that topic. Okay, so there's a ton of stuff, but we've got got 3 things coming that you want in your hand. You want to have it. You want to be here next Wednesday with Joe's here. He's going through his deal. He's starting at 7 o'clock because he has to be somewhere at 8 o'clock. So he's not going to be here really. So get here early. I'm sure he'll be early, and grab him in the hallway and talk to him a little bit, right? But that goes back to what we talk about a lot of times, is you got to make these connections with people, make friends with them, right? Joe Cronin's been helping us, for 15 years. Right? He's been our American Funds guy ever since I've been in the business. So he's a wealth of knowledge, but he will be here, okay? All right, that's that. And then the next Wednesday after that, we should have a wholesaler from a life insurance company here. Okay, we had our meeting yesterday morning with with the new insurance group called Aimcore. Right, you probably see it on the website. It's on the website, type insurance website. It takes you right there. Aimcore is the new company that's running all of our insurance. Right, but they're going to start bringing in people from the insurance companies to explain their products. And I think the first one's coming a week from Wednesday. All right. And by the way, we're the only ones that's getting that in HD West in Illinois right now. Probably in the whole company, but because they see us as a life insurance pot of gold, so I think we are. All right. So next 2 Wednesdays, be here because we got big people coming. All right. So today, let's just get after some stuff right now, and I'm sure I'll forget half the stuff that Pam told me to remind you before we're done talking. Actually, I do remember one thing she told me. What she said from a compliance that. I don't know. I'll think of it. I wrote down some. I wrote down
Oh,
some.
about the, was it about the business card, about the, Strategize not being,
Yes,
the investment
marketing
firm?
name. All right.
Yes.
We need to clarify companies. Let's start with that. Who's who? I know there's some people, it's confusing, believe me. So if you're one of the people that are confusing this, don't feel bad. It's just,
We figured this out after we put it on here.
yeah, we figured this out like 10 years later, all right? So here's you, right? Center of everything. You have a contract with HD West. That contract is you can represent them and use the products that they use. Okay? The deal with them is they're an independent broker dealer, so they only want high-level advisors working with them. Okay? They probably wouldn't hire most people without 5 to 10 years experience. It's just that's not who they are, right? They don't want anybody making less than $50,000 a year to be on their own, because it's just there's too much of a chance for you to not know what you're doing and say something wrong and cause problems for yourself and them, right? So that's who HD West is, independent broker dealer that finds advisors and contracts them to represent them. Then you got a group of people that are HD West advisors that started a company called Strategize Wealth Management Group. Strategize Wealth Management Group is not a broker dealer. It's not a securities firm. Okay, it is a network built by 4 HD West people right now that own it. Right, we physically own it, the entity. That is a marketing company by name. So if I were to call up like American Funds and say, hey, this is Dave Sharnot, I'm not saying this is Dave Sharnot from Strategize Wealth Management. They have no idea who Strategize Wealth Management is. I would say I'm an advisor with HD West. Right, that's what you should say. Right, HD West is the firm that you're representing that has a or Legg Mason or Invesco or AXA or any of these companies. Right? You are an HD West advisor. Now, on your business card, if you want a website, as our website gets built, it will be branded as Strategize Wealth Management Group, because that's to separate us from all the other broker dealers out there on the street. Right? Merrill Lynch is a popular name in the world. Merrill Lynch has a couple divisions, right? Merrill Lynch Securities actually produces the securities. But Merrill Lynch advisors just use the name Merrill Lynch as their marketing name. They are contracted with Merrill Lynch Securities. So when they say, hey, this is Dave from Merrill Lynch, he really means Merrill Lynch Securities, not Merrill Lynch Marketing Firm. But they're contractors pretty much like we are. Everyone's pretty much like that nowadays. Right? The Edward Jones guy uses Edward Jones Securities as the name of his company. That's why I am Dave from Edward Jones, right? But you are not, John from Strategize. You are John from HD West, doing business as Strategize. That make sense? That's just to give us an identity, something separate, a brand that you could build. Now, your clients, you would say, this is Dave from Strategize. Your clients know you as Strategize. Your clients shouldn't know you as HD Best. Does that make sense? Marketing, the term to describe having the public be comfortable with our business. That's what marketing is, right? That's all marketing is. I mean, marketing majors, right? This sums up your whole college career, right? How to make the public comfortable with you, right? Joe?
I just think it's important to note that because like I'm a male, they'll see HD Best, and I think that's where the confusion's kind of coming in a little bit when they see the statements and like who's HD
Right, you
Best?
have to prepare them.
If you
for
haven't
that.
explained that.
Right, you need to prepare them for what they're gonna see, because they're not even gonna see HD Best per se, unless they're really looking at an American Fund statement or like Mason statement, because it's really small. Right, so HD Best, broker dealer, HD Best, however they do it. It's not gonna say strategize anywhere on there. You need to communicate how their stuff's gonna come. But that's the same as true no matter what you do. Right, a Merrill Lynch advisor that sells an AXA annuity and has the AXA annuity at AXA, they're getting an AXA statement, and it says Merrill Lynch in the thing. Right, it's not different for anybody else. Right, it's just strategizes to find its way. Now, what I do, my advisor accounts, is I actually send their statements to them. HD Best does not send them directly, they send them to me first. And then I put the Strategize brand on it before I send it. All right, so that's another thing you will do. That's from an advisory standpoint. All right, so that'll be, you're all on your way there. Does that make sense? It is I've heard that's a little confusion. HD Best, whenever you're doing business with the companies, Strategize whenever you're doing business with the people. Okay, and then tell them HD Best is your clearing firm. If you were to meet like another advisor on the street and they were Edward Jones, you would say, who do you work for? They would say Edward Jones. But if you met somebody that was an LPL advisor or a Woodbury advisor or an HD Best advisor, they're not going to say that. They're going to say, I clear my trades through HD Best. Right? Clear my trades through LPL. Right? But I am the company. Right? I am the firm. Right? You are the firm. Our firm is Strategize. With Strategize, we clear our trades through HD Best.
Listen for advertising on the radio. You'll always hear the Social Security's offered by.
Right, and then, who's that big guy? That's all over the radio.
Yeah.
He's actually bigger than I thought. They actually used him in a Department of Labor thing. They mentioned that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He's from Illinois, too.
Yeah. Whoever the hell his name is. Steve
No.
Edelman.
Rick Edelman.
Rick Edelman.
Yeah.
Rick Edelman, you hear the radio, Rick Edelman, he's a huge broker dealer. And at the end, all securities are offered through Pershing Securities. Right? Pershing Securities is a securities firm that the Rick Edelman brand is over. Well, Rick Edelman brand is the same as Strategize Wealth Management. Okay? It's just a brand. All right, sound good? All right. All right. My topic for tonight is helping you pick the right company to bring your clients money to based upon what they want and what you want for that client. We've got a number of mutual fund companies that we use. We can use any, you could use any. We have some favorites around here, so I'm going to share the favorites. The question is, when is a client an Invesco client versus an American Funds client versus a Legg Mason client versus a Franklin Templeton, Oppenheimer, right? So we're going to try to clear some of that up. I'm not going to clear it all. You're not going to learn everything there is to know in the next half hour about all mutual fund companies for me, right? But I'm going to point you in the right direction, and then you can kind of take it from there. So let's do American Funds first. All right, American Funds bonus point, like what are they good at? What's good about them? Okay, well the very first thing that you need to know is they're a DST Vision company. A DST Vision company means you have access to their stuff on a program called DST Vision. So when you log in, you type DST Vision in, it brings this up. It gives you certain usages that other programs don't give you, right? So you can actually make trades, purchases, redemptions. You can control their monthly investments all through it. You don't have to call anybody. To put a contrast on that, Legg Mason uses Advisor Central instead of instead of DST Vision. You cannot do trades electronically for Legg Mason clients. You have to call Legg Mason. So if you want this client to have, for you to have the ability to move money because they call you a lot, right? They're high maintenance, right? Some clients are high maintenance. If I have a high maintenance client that's constantly calling for money, I would prefer them at American Funds for that purpose than Legg Mason. And I might use American Funds instead of Legg Mason because of that reason. Otherwise, I'm on the phone all day long, right? And anybody ever call in and try to do something, you know, it's time. You're burning the clock. So, and maybe it's you. Maybe you're got another job. You're working these crazy hours. So you would be more equipped to steer most of your clients to a DST Vision company than you would an Advisor Central company. Performance, you're going to see, is not that different. You are not going to lose the client 2% a year, 1% a year by being in American Funds instead of Legg Mason or Invesco instead of American Funds. They all got great funds. You gotta know what they offer them. Now, American Funds does have a $50 a month minimum per fund. So they have to have at least $50 a month going in monthly, unless they've hit the minimums, which is $250 per fund in a retirement plan, or $1,000 per fund in a non-qualified account. So you open up a new account, they have no money to start, it's just $50 a month, then you go $50 a month in American Funds, that's fine. If they have $250 and they want to not put any more money in, that's fine if it's a retirement plan. But if someone goes, I got $250, I want to put it in an account, a joint account with me and my wife, nothing monthly, you can't do that there. It's $1,000 minimum per fund, or $50 a month. Now that $50 a month has to continue. They can't put in $50 a month for 5 months and then stop putting it in and have $250 when they're supposed to have $1,000 minimum. They will wait, and then they're going to send them a letter. They're going to say, "We're sending you your money back." Right? You have to have $1,000 minimum per fund if you're not doing monthly. Okay. Now, that's the same pretty much everywhere except for one major company. Who's that?
Investments.
Invesco. What's Invesco's minimum?
25.
Invesco's $25 a month. So I got a client that's got $25 a month. Well, I guess I got to go to Invesco. Now, let's say, let me give you the, I want American Funds. Let's say you really want American Funds. And all they cannot do $50 a month. Well, you could do $25. Let me think. How could you do it? You could pull it off $25. No, you can't. I was thinking that you used to be able to do it. You can't do it. That was when they were $25 a month, and somebody wanted to do avoid the minimum. Forget it. I'm thinking out loud. Can't do it. You gotta go to Invesco. So that's an important point. American Funds does not offer $25 a month. Okay. My client wants to see their mutual fund on a top 10 list. You got to go to American Funds. They own top 10 lists. They own them. You look at the top 10 lists, you're finding American Funds all over the place. Why? Because they've been in business forever, and they have contributions being made to the right places. They get noticed. They get on Kiplinger's lists. Anybody that thinks those lists are true, genuine numbers, they're a fool. Right? Those are paid for advertising spots. Right? But American Funds is all over them. So if clients want top 10 lists, American Funds. You can see no Legg Mason funds on top 10 lists. Not because they ain't top 10 funds, because I've done the research. 2 of their funds are top 3 funds in categories. They never get on the list though, because they don't pay no money to nobody to get on the list. All right, so they want to see the name, use American Funds. If you want really good literature, because clients need to be sold, if your style of presenting requires you to show really beautiful brochures and fact cards and mountain graphs, and you know you need third-party support. If I'm going to see a client that's so technical that they're going to want to see all kinds of data, I'm going to go. They're an American Funds client, because American Funds gives you the best stuff. You get all the data, man. Boom, we go in there and I'll close that guy in 5 minutes, because the data he wants to see they have on paper. All right, Legg Mason's don't really got that. You're not going to close somebody on data using Legg Mason literature. So that's American Funds. Anybody wanna add anything? Go ahead.
Not to add, but, so if they put $1,000 in it, it obviously.
It goes down because of the market?
So does they get hit with a fee on that?
They will, no, they're just gonna refund them the money.
Oh, it's gonna refund us.
At some point.
Charges, okay.
Yeah, like Mason will charge them money. American, like Mason will charge them a low account fee,
Right, but not,
American Funds will kick them their money back at some point.
so that's a good thing.
You're gonna get a warning.
You're gonna get warned, yes.
They also had the best customer service that
Oh,
I've
yeah,
experienced.
I should have said that right away. They have the best customer service for us. It's good for the clients too. It's the best for us. They will call you up and say, hey, we got a check in the mail. We don't know how to allocate it. Because your client just randomly transferred some money to their account without telling you, right? They'll call you up 2 weeks and go, hey, we still haven't gotten the rollover. We want your permission to call the current custodian. So, by all means, call us, right? I mean, they are the best. They will hound you even when you don't call them back because they're sitting on something that's got a time delay. They'll call you 2-3 times a day until they get in touch with you and have that taken care of. If you want good customer service, don't go like Mason. If you have high blood pressure and you're on medication for high blood pressure, don't go to Lake Mason. You might have a grabber at some point. I believe we're gonna change everybody over there into the right way of doing business. Right now, they're crazy.
Can you just explain their style of, because I know that
Investing? Sure.
there's like one fund that has like 12
Yeah.
folks in there where,
All right, so you're gonna get a lot next week from Joe, because he is gonna tell you the American Fund story, but to kind of preview, American Funds does not have a portfolio manager driven system. And it's not 1 or 2 people that are the portfolio managers, and the fund's known for them. Right, like that's what Mason is, right? Mason's Aggressive Growth Fund's Richie Freeman. The Dividend Strategy Fund is Hirsch Cohen, right? That's what you know the fund as. That's the guy behind the scenes. The whole story is built around who the stock picker is and all that. American Fund's not like that at all. They're having what's called a counselor system. They have a group of counselors that sit on the mutual funds. Now, I don't know what the rules are, but it seems like they all have 8 or more. And each person has got their own area of expertise. So in any mutual fund, they're looking for certain types of companies. Let's just say you're looking at Growth Fund of America. They're looking for large cap growth companies, but anywhere, right? So you might have one counselor, he is in charge of the US growth. You have another counselor who's in charge of the non-US growth. You have another counselor in charge of the technology and information segment. You have another one that's in charge of, entertainment, media. You have another one that's all, consumer staples. Another one that will be manufacturing, right? But there is a counselor for the different breakups of the actual mutual fund, and every one of them, one dude's got 50 years experience, one lady's got 44, 33, and then there'll be like 2 people that are like 29 years old or 29 years in or 30 years in, and they're the ones that are going to be the senior advisors when they actually retire, and somebody's going to come in with 10 years experience to sit on the fund at some point. But no one's learning how to invest money in mutual funds in the mutual fund and Growth Fund of America. Everybody's got 10 plus years experience, or you cannot be a counselor on that fund. Right? They get earn their stripes other places, and that American Funds finds them and hires them and then puts them on the fund. American Funds don't grow fund managers or counselors internally. They get them. A council doesn't trust people, and they trust systems, right? American Funds would be the good fund company for that money. Okay. Probably a million things we're talking about. Yes.
I was also gonna say, a lot of the American funds they're not tobacco, not alcohol, so some of the conservative,
Yeah. So from a standpoint of socially responsible, American Funds takes a more socially responsible position. So you're not going to see a whole lot of, they don't own Walmart. They don't own Apple at all. Now, it's not saying anything wrong with those companies, it's just they don't own them. So If Apple's spiking, your client's not gonna have any money at Apple through American funds. Right? But if you're using a brokerage account, you have C shares, it doesn't matter what fund companies you use, you can use anybody, right? You would go find the Walmarts and the Apples that you want in other fund companies, and you would use American funds for their core or something. But that's for more, you got any more research, right? That's your part. You research the fund. It doesn't take a whole lot. You get on their website and you go to work, right? Their websites are all their names, right? So www.americanfunds.com, and that's their website, right? And everything you want to know on their side. All right, so that was American funds. We'll do a couple more. Like Mason. We've already gone over a couple things about them, right? We know we're on $50 a month. We know they're on Advisor Central. Is that OR or ER? I can never remember.
It's OR.
Is it OR?
I believe on that it is.
So $50 a month minimum, same 250, 1,000. Open accounts. By the way, all their fund fees are similar. I think they have a $25 a year account fee. American Funds is $10, I think. So it's close, within the same ballpark. I don't think that's ever, if someone's invested money, that should not be a decision maker. $10 or $15 a year, right? $1 a month. Like Mason has a portfolio manager approach. So for people that want people to be accountable, they want to know who's behind the investment. Who are the people making the investments with my money, right? Portfolio manager. I just think you can't not acknowledge the fact that they have the aggressive growth fund. So whether it's SHRAX, SAGCX, or SAGYX, that's an X, whichever A share, C share, or institutional share, whatever you're doing, they have the aggressive growth fund. It is the best fund, in my opinion, in the world. It's 1 year is down, but it should be down based on what's going on in the world. It should be down. It's a good opportunity to buy the aggressive growth fund right now. It's 20-year, stellar. It's 18% per year average, I think, right now. All right, you get 18% a year, you get rich. Stupid rich. Like rich way off the charts of what we normally suggest people get. I think that's a cornerstone for any growth model. I build everything I build off of the aggressive growth. Right, Richie Freeman's been running it since 1983. He is a freak. He's a freak. He's been trading stocks since he's been 10 years old. Grew up in Manhattan. I mean, he is the story. He is the fund. You are not buying Leg Mason. You are buying Richie Freeman's ability to pick stocks. And he picks them better than anybody. He holds them better than anybody. And he sells them all at the right time. He doesn't care where he's at versus the S&P 500 on any chart. He is investing money, so when people put money in there, they become wealthy, right? I mean, I seen this sucker go from 2009 at $58 a share to a high of $220 a share about 6 months ago. I don't care who you are, you put money in at $58 in a mutual fund, and it goes up 4 times, you got options in a couple years. Right now, I think I don't know where they're all now. What's this, like 170, 165, and this is at 195. But it's way above 50s and 60s. All right, I started buying it in 2001 when it was $120 a share. And it went 120 to 160 to 58 to 160 again, no, 150 to 58 to 220. Now, if anyone ever told you the cow story, if you're buying money monthly along this track for 15 years, how many times did you buy it under $100? And it hit 220, it's around 200 right now. I mean, if you're using it for college planning, for retirement planning, for no matter what you're using it for, you had 2 moments in the last 10 years where it was triple where it was a couple of years earlier. You don't get those types of opportunities everywhere, right? Well, most mutual funds don't work like that, right? So to me, you have to use like Mason because you have to invest in the aggressive growth fund. Now, some people, I I have to take them to Legg Mason for their crappy customer service, for their, gotta make a phone call to make the trade. All the negatives we talked about earlier about them as an entity, I send people's money there because of that. Now, Hirsch Cohen in the SOPAX is, they're not S. I don't know they're C's and the Y shares, but they're just really stupid. They're like not even in the ballpark. It's like LM something. I don't know. Dividend Strategy Fund. That's what you need to know. Dividend Strategy Fund run by Hirsch Cohen. Hirsch Cohen is the CFO of Legg Mason. He's the smartest guy on the planet Earth next to Richie Freeman. He's got more structure to him. He was running the appreciation fund from 1970, took that sucker to a 12% a year average, passed it down to Scott Glasser, his descendant in the fund, and went off and rebranded this fund about 6 years ago and focuses only on dividend paying companies. One of the best mutual funds on the planet Earth. Now you can't look at a track record in history and go, oh, look at the great, because the track record is only about 8 years old. Prior to that, it was a different fund run by a different guy. Hirsch Cohen is the guy in that fund now. You can't use the 10-year performance isn't even all him. That sucker has risen in the last 2 years on all charts that he's been running for the last 6 years. I will take someone's money and put it in Hirsch Cohen's hands. Because I know not only is he good, but whoever he's training to take it after he leaves is going to be good. Right, so those are two funds that I just think a lot of people need to have a lot of money in. Now, if they don't have a whole lot of money and they can't go into a brokerage account, or if they can't have a fee-based account, they're just starting out. I might go to Legg Mason and deal with all that crap just so they can put $50 a month in both of these. And let's get you to 15, 20 grand saved in those two funds, and then we'll move you to a brokerage account, transfer shares in kind over there, and then we'll be set. All right? We can start you here and get you there. So Legg Mason, that's who they are. That's what they're for. They're for those two funds. Someone wants an emergency fund set up. Would you use either of those two funds in an emergency fund? No, those are long-term growth funds. I'm not even thinking Legg Mason. If all they need to do is set up $100, $200 a month to get something going so they can have some money for a down payment on a house, I'm not even thinking Legg Mason. Because they don't need the stock pickers. So they don't need stocks. Who might I think of right away if someone tells me they want to get something started, something small, emergency fund, non-qualified, right, the savings, vacation money? What am I thinking? I'm thinking Invesco. I'm thinking Invesco because they got some of the best fixed income that exists. Now, I know some stuff's closed, and we got to negotiate some of their closed funds, but they got really good fixed income there. At the Equity Income Fund, which is stock-based, but it is managed in an income strategy. That sucker's been averaging 10% a year going back to what, early 80s or late 70s, right?
Yeah.
Oh, American Fund, I missed one. They had to open their first fund in 1934. So if you need someone to see history, like 70, 80 years of how funds work, you have to go to American Funds. They've been around since 1934. You can tell that story.
Equity income is 1960s.
60s, right? This is old, right? So maybe late 60s, early 70s. That is a great fund, great story. You would go to Invesco just for the equity income fund. Because if someone's retired and they don't have a whole lot of money, and you want to just put money into a fund that you know is going to be there, it's going to be equity income fund. Like I would literally say, if there was one mutual fund for somebody over 60, they were going to use just one. That's the one I would use. Over 60. Because it's got an equity base of conservative stock funds, but it has an income focus, so it's making money regularly. It's not gonna, it ain't going up 40, they can go from 58 to 200 in 3 years. But instead of doing that, like aggressive funds will do, the equity income fund will look more like that. Right? You will take away the craziness of it. Which, by the way, sometimes people think, oh, well, it'll never go up that big. No, people screw that up as much as they screw it going down. Right? They think they got all this money when it hits a peak. If you ain't got all that money, it's going down. Before you take it out, it's gonna go down. So you start thinking, you don't give them those thoughts in equity income fund. Right? They don't think they're overly rich, and they never think they're losing their money. Right? Which are both improper thoughts, right? So Invesco will keep your client, I think, a little more even keel. They also have great material. And as a matter of fact, when it comes to material, if you feel like you are not where you need to be as an advisor, or you're literally just getting started, I think they have the best advisor training stuff that exists.
They spend a lot of money on advisor training.
You can literally get your licenses independently, not know nothing about nothing, plug into Invesco's support system and learn everything that advisor, 20-year advisor knows. Because they have so much training, so much material, so much to offer you. You can have never sold anything to anybody, and they can teach you how to sell. They understand the essence of being an advisor. They're local. If any of your clients are Sox fans, you should consider using Invesco. Because every time they put the tarp out, it says Invesco on it. Right? That's the Invesco tarp. Right? If you've ever been awarded an incentive by Invesco, they probably took you to a White Sox game. Right? You do enough Invesco, you might score some tickets, you can take a client to the Sox games. That didn't happen in the old company you guys used to work at. That will happen now. These wholesalers got money, right? They will take your clients to places for you, right? Well, they're a Sox, they're local. They're not on 83 anymore, right? They're further
Down
west.
Grove, right up.
They're down Grove now, 355.
Yeah, Waterfield.
So they have stuff there where they bring advisors in and they have training sessions. You need to plug into that if you want to learn more, right? They do talk some of their funds, but I'll tell you right now, you go to an Invesco thing, sometimes I'm there and I'm like, are they ever going to talk about their funds? Because it seems like all they do is train me to be better, which is awesome. But sometimes I question, like, why are they not spending any time talking about their funds? They don't, their training is not a sales pitch to you. Their training is teaching you how to be better. They're incredible at it. All right, so if you're Sox, any clients are Sox fans, that's a big deal. They have no presence at Wrigley Field, do they? Or do they? I don't think so. But it's just a Great World Series, that's all I know. You can go to home and away games and never leave the city. It's gonna be awesome. Right, so, what else Invesco got? Give me some, I don't use Invesco very much. They're a DST Vision company too, right? Yeah. So DST Vision, so you should be able to utilize a lot of the stuff for American funds, or like I said, for American funds with Invesco also and DST Vision.
They have a great S&P 500 fund, the DADAX.
Okay.
Equally weighted S&P 500.
Equally weighted S&P 500 fund.
Yep.
So a lot of people.
That'll beat the index every year. So you got somebody who wants index funds, show them that.
All right, so this is a good objection to index funds. You said, what's it called, equally weighted?
Equally weighted S&P 500.
So they're taking into account the capitalization of the company when they're weighting. So
Correct.
that's a big deal. All right, a couple other ones that I'm not going to go through this much detail because our three main companies that we've been using here, American funds like Mason and Invesco. I think you've hit some of the bullet points as to why we use them. Some of the other companies that you need to know at least who they are so you can plug into them a little bit, get to know them. We're going to use them for certain things. Why do you need to know Oppenheimer for sure in Illinois?
529.
Because they have the Illinois 529 plan. All right, that's the Bright Start plan. That is state tax deductible for any contributions. Right, so if someone in Illinois wants to do a 529 for their kid, there would be a really good argument for they should use, it's at least state tax deductible. Oppenheimer also has great international, and they got pretty good small cap fund. You are going to see, I'm going to publish a ridiculous C and institutional share fund list, where I'm going to put out the best funds on our platform to be used in brokerage accounts as C shares and Y shares. You're going to see a couple Oppenheimer funds. Oh, as a matter of fact, they got the fastest growing right now MLP fund, the Steel Path MLP. It's an Oppenheimer fund. It's a energy MLP. And if you haven't figured it out yet, energy kind of hit low. Looks like it's gonna go on a little run for the next couple months. I've been moving my clients into that for the last 3 months. It's looking, I think, about like 7% last month.
And the Rochester.
Yeah, so it's up 9%.
Rochester Muni, it's another big, huge fund of theirs. So another, if you're looking for a muni, right, they need munis, they have high income, they wanna put money away for your kid, you might wanna consider using Oppenheimer exclusively. Right, you're gonna have the 529, that'll take care of that, and then you might as well just, they got a great muni, they got high income. Or you can piece together a reason to just use Oppenheimer. As a company you might come across in the south suburbs over here, because they are the only approved vendor of 403Bs in the Lincoln Way School District as mutual funds. Now, we have the ability to use insurance companies and 403Bs now, right? I don't recommend it over a direct mutual fund. I believe direct mutual fund investing through a work plan bi-weekly is the best dollar cost averaging you can get. I don't think you can do it better in an annuity wrapped company. But Franklin Templeton is the approved 403B vendor in the Lincoln Way School District. So that's Lincoln Way Central, East, well, more north. So Central, East, and West, which are the across the street, Lincoln Way East. That's Franklin Templeton. I got teachers there that are retirement plans with me. You can go in there and get any teacher and take them right to Franklin Templeton and go.
Bourbonnais also.
Bourbonnais School District too. All right, so Lincoln Way and Bourbonnais. So anybody south, and then probably more. All right, those are just the ones we know about because this is where we are, right? But you should find out who is in the school district in your region as 403B vendor that is a direct to mutual fund vendor. That's not an annuity wrapped. Now, if all they have is annuity wrap, and find that out, bring it here, let's figure it out, okay? If you let client that wants sector investing, you cannot beat Fidelity sector. I don't care. I have tried. I have researched. If you look at the top 5 mutual funds in performance right now, year to date, 4 of the 5 are Fidelity funds, and it's Fidelity Biotech, Biochemistry, Fidelity Healthcare Services Fund. Their sector funds are going to outperform. Last year, I think 2 years ago, their near China fund did 180-something% or something 2 years ago. In 1 year. Right? So if you're looking for sector pieces, your client's got some history or sector's going to go because of some article, you go look at Fidelity's list of sector funds. Unbelievable. Right? And once again, you're in a brokerage account, you C-share everything, it don't make a difference what company you use. Right? You just put it in there. Boom, boom, boom. Salmons is new to us. I'm going to get a lot more inside information on them because I coached Providence's 7-on-7 team, and one of the quarterback's dads works for Salmons. And it was his third year day wearing a Salmons thing. I'm like, oh, what's that? That's a new word in my business. So he's going to give you some inside skinny next week on who they are and what they do. But they, for us, for our purposes, it's a no load with a 50 basis point trail, and you get, what is it, 130 mutual funds, like something like 30 or more different fund companies, 125. So this huge group of funds that you can put and mix in, all with no sales charge to the client, you get a 50 basis point trail. That is for people that are non-brokerage clients yet, and you can't put them in a brokerage account because they don't have enough money for the fee. Everybody's got enough money for the fee. Nobody feels like they have enough money for the fee, so we don't put them in that uncomfortable situation, right? You could go to Salmons and get multiple fund company approach, and similar to a C-share. You just got to know you're going to get paid half the money to do it. Right? 50 basis point trail is half of a 100 basis point trail, which is a C-share. So your comp will be cut in half to do that, but the client will get this huge diversified portfolio. Okay? I'm not big on cutting my comp in half. I don't know about you, but we spend a lot of time working, doing what we do. C-shares, I think, are I think that's very charitable for us to even select a C share or something. To take a C share and cut it in half, to me, is just like, all right, slow down. Right? Maybe 20 years from now, when you go, what's your cash flow? 500 grand, 600 grand a year? You want to throw some of that out to your family? Maybe. That's just my opinion. All right. Any questions? Sure, you have no questions. Any questions in general? Because that's kind of what this was in general.
It's not to that, but I know you've been throwing this brokerage account and there's a fee. Are you talking managed accounts when you speak
No.
brokerage accounts?
No,
or-
regular brokerage account.
I thought there's no fee. There are fees.
Brokerage account, it's got you have three fees, right? If you have less than $10,000, it's $75 a year.
So there's a-
And you gotta pay the trades. Every time you buy or sell a fund, you gotta pay $50. Right, so it's expensive if you're gonna be trading a lot and moving funds around. Right? Nobody should pay that unless they want the benefit of having 7 or 8 different fund companies, right? If I have 7 different fund companies, I'm gonna outperform any one fund company by 2 or 3%. And if I got 50 grand, and I'm outperforming 2 or 3%, I'm gonna be making, what's 2% of 50 grand? $1,000? Yeah, $1,000. Do I care if I pay $15 for a trade? If I'm making an extra $1,000? No, not even close, right? I'm up $985, right? But if I'm only gonna use 1 or 2 funds, why would I need a brokerage account to give me access to all this stuff and pay all those extra fees? I can go to a mutual fund company, pay no fees to trade anything. I have no $15 trading cost. I don't have a $75 account fee per year. I have a $10 account fee per year. That make sense? So if they have less than 10 grand, I shouldn't even consider a brokerage account. Now, keep in mind, that's not true for you, right? You don't pay fees. So you can do whatever the hell you want. You don't gotta pay the $75, right? You're just waived for employees, your kids, right? Your spouse. They can do all that for free. 10,000 to 50,000 in mutual funds, I pay $50 a year fee in a brokerage account. But once I have more than 50,000 to open at mutual funds, then what? It's free. Right? So that's a big deal. Now keep in mind, that fee, where it's free, 50,000 mutual funds, that criteria, that's per account. That's not family. All right, so if you have a $50,000 account and a $12,000 account, the $50,000 account is gonna be the criteria for the $50 fee. But you have $50 fee per account. You need $250,000 household to waive them across the board. All right, that waives them across the board. The $50,000 account would have a 0 fee. The $10,000 account would have a $50 fee. You got $250 total, no fee. Still got to pay trading costs. Trading costs only make sense if you're getting better performance. Make sense? Cool. All right. I'm done. I'm going to give the last 10, 15 minutes to John. He's going to go over your account. This is a really good question.
If you open an Invesco account with $25 a month, how long do you have to get it up to 1,000?
It's not like that.
Oh,
I don't
it's not
think
like
that's
that?
how it works.
That's how it works. As long as you got $25 going in, you don't have that $1,000 minimum.
Oh, okay.
It just has to be continual.
Okay, all right, yeah, that would be a unique to Invesco. That does not how it works other places.
Like Mason
Right,
or
Mason
the other
has
American
I think
funds.
like Mason has a 15 month?
Plus 15.
15-month rule. If you're doing $50 a month, you have 15 months to hit the minimum, or you start paying the fee in month 16. American funds, I don't think they have a fee. They just, like I say, they shut your account. They liquidate the fund. I think. Anything else? All right, John's gonna talk about making money, so he got the phone. All right,
Yeah.
see you.
All right.
I'll turn that in money, right? All right. So Dave went over the funds to use, right? Now we're talking about getting paid, right? Because like we talked about salmons, Dave and I were looking at doing the research on the inside of the salmon. We're like, we could do this ourselves and make twice as much money. So we decided not to. We're not salmons fans yet until they produce something that tells us we should be. All right, so let's take a look at this. Understand, remember Dave walked through, Strategize Wealth Management is the marketing name, okay? You're all affiliated with HD West. Dave is the lead advisor, and we are all sub-advisors to Dave. Got it? So technically, we are all independent within HD West, but as Dave said, none of us could go to HD West and get what I'm gonna show you get as independent people, as individuals. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's talk about this. All right, you passed your 6 and 63. Okay, you are on a 40% contract on all products. What does that mean? Okay, we're gonna explain that. If you will pass both your exams, the 6 and 63, within the first 90 days of being here, you have a $300 bonus. All right, so there's an incentive for speed. Why would we do that? Because the sooner you're licensed, the sooner you can make money, which means what? Everybody makes money, right? Okay. So that's the incentive there. So if you're talking to somebody and they want to get into the advisory world, but they have no experience, they can't go to HD West and go work there, right? They got to be licensed and they got to be trained. So they have to come through a firm like ours in order to do that. Okay? Any questions on that? So what is 40%? Well, achieve $5,000 in income, you're at 40%, 40% on all products. All right? If you would earn $5,000 in any 12-month, rolling 12, so you start, you get licensed in February. Your rolling 12 is February to February, right? Then your rolling 12 after that is March to March. You see how that works? That's a rolling 12. So as 1 month drops off, it's the next new month. So if you earn $5,000 in income in a rolling 12, how long could it take you to earn $5,000?
One day.
Yeah, a day, really a day, right? If you want to. All right, just depends on what kind of business you do. All right, we're gonna bump you up to a 50% contract on all products. All right, but that 5,000 rolling 12 has to be maintained. I'm going to talk a little bit how you maintain that. So here's the $25 pay raise. Okay, calculate income. If I do a $4,000 or $100,000 A-share trade, got it? Somebody comes to me and says, I have $100,000. You want to go into American funds. You invest all $100,000 into American funds portfolio. They are going to pay a 4% sales charge. Got it? So that's going to cost the client $4,000 one-time fee to buy into that fund. Okay? So if you're at a 40% contract, $4,000 is generated. That's going to generate to you $1,600. You get 40% of that. Everybody got that? So you're also going to get trails at 40%. Dave was talking about C-shares paying a 1% trail. What's your trail if you're at a 40% contract? 40% of that, right? But if I make $5,000, right, and I'm at 50% contract, my comp for that one trade would jump to $2,000. So that's a 25% increase. Got it? 25% more of $1,600 is $400, so $2,000. Any questions on that? Now, what's cool about this, the trails also go up to 50%. How you maintain, or you start to maintain this $5,000 rolling 12, and that's a pretty small number, okay, is you're getting paid on the investments every quarter, right? So now this $100,000 goes in, starting next year, you're going to start getting a quarter-point trail on that $100,000 you put in last year. And it's not just the 100,000, it's whatever it grew to in that year. So if it grows to 110,000, you're getting a quarter point per year on that 110,000. Okay? Everybody follow me on that?
How much would that be, about a quarter point per year?
That's much.
Not much. Yeah, it's $250 a year.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, 100 grand.
Okay, I'm talking millions.
Yeah. A quarter point trail, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars to make decent income. Okay? But if you're at a C-share, 100,000, you wouldn't get paid the upfront. You'd get a 1% upfront. So they pay you $1,000 times your contract, so you make 400. But then it's 1% a year, so it's $1,000 a year going forward. So you see how if you're doing C shares, this 5,000. What do I need $5,000? How much money do I need to make $5,000 a year in trails? If I'm getting 1% at 50%, so 50% trail, right?
500 grand would make it within time to contract.
Yeah, it's times 500 grand would make it
So
at
50%
1%.
contract, you need $1 million.
Yeah,
$1 million,
$1 million.
5,000 years.
So $1 million, if I have $1 million of clients' money invested in me in C shares, that's gonna pay me $5,000 a year. That means I'm staying on a 50% contract, even if I don't add any new clients. Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Right? How many people wanna get paid for stuff they did 10 years ago? Everybody, right? But that's just your first thing. You can, I mean, what's that trade gonna pay you with Tom?
Tom really will make about $22,000 on one trade.
Yeah.
So we just closed.
So it's all relative, right? You know,
And that's 50% of it, because.
yeah, that's 50%.
He's
So
sat
it's
there and watched me do it.
right. So he just referred Dave because he's licensed. He's getting paid $22,000. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, and, what's $1 million a year at 1%?
That's
That's
10 grand
you do the 5,000 a year
from that one trade.
from just the additional investment.
Okay. So to understand, this probably looks to you like it's a big number if you've never done anything before, maybe you haven't had time. Okay. But you should get the mindset that I'm going to do that a month, right? Because then if you do that a month, then what do your trails look like 2 or 3 years from now, right? So how about more? What if we go to $7,500 in income in a rolling 12? Well, that's going to bring $2,500 more for the next 11 months, okay? You're going to jump to a 52.5% contract. So these jumps are small. That's a 5% raise, okay? So total GDC, $100,000 A share, $4,000 at 52.5, pay you $2,100. Got it? And you see, as your comp goes up, your trail rate goes up too. So I'm making more money, but then my residual income is creeping up as I make a higher contract. So I'm raising my floor every time I do this. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's a great thing, right? So we're talking about going to full time. What's it going to take to go to full time? Well, here's the different contracts. There's a 50% contract. You got to make 5,000 rolling 12, 7,500. See that where we're going? Understand this. Where we came from, this is actually higher than our top. This was our top, actually, a half a point higher than our top. So this was the most we can make where we came from. See that? Anybody can question why we did what we did? Right? So if you make 25,000 in a rolling 12, you're going to bump your comp to 62.5. 30,000, you're going to go to 65, right? 35,000 all the way up to 250,000. Once you hit $250,000 in rolling 12, that's your contract. So the money that you brought into your household. Got it? Then we're going to talk about partnership in the whole firm itself. Anybody know how a law firm works? Anybody know anybody works for a law firm or a partner in a law firm? You know how that works, right? This is how that works. You go to work for a law firm as a lawyer. You produce. You have billable hours. You produce enough billable hours over the course of time. They elect to make you a partner. Then what do you get when you're a partner? A part of the company from when? What point do you start owning that company? When you become a partner, but when does your ownership actually take place?
The day you got it.
The day the company started. Because you own everything that the company did prior to you becoming a partner. That's a big deal, right? Because while you're working your way through here, right, we're putting money aside, we're accumulating assets of this firm that we've built, so that when you become a partner, all that we've put aside, whoever many months or years it takes you to get there, is there waiting for you as part of a piece of it. So it's not just being your partner, you get to participate in everything going forward, you get to participate in everything we've done so far too. Right? What was our rank in the company as far as investments?
I think right now we're number 500 total overall.
Right.
In the first 6 months.
We have 6-month track record, and we're number 500, and they got what, 4,500 advisors?
4,500 codes.
4,500 advisors. We're number 500 for rolling 12. We've been here 6 months. Okay, does that compute in your head? So if you become a partner, you're going to be by the time you become a partner, we're going to be in the top 5-10% of the whole company, right?
We're number 5 in the company in what's called pace setter, which is how much we've done in 6 months relative to the 6-month period.
Right.
So our growth rate is
We're number 5.
number 5 in the entire company. And the stock market has surged a little bit in the last couple of months.
Right.
That's what's pushed a lot of people up because they have so many assets.
Right.
Within their 6 months.
So they're just taking market performance, and that's what's driving the growth.
Right.
We're talking about assets moving into the company. That's what's driving our growth. Think about that. We talk to the insurer. Why do you think we have our own insurance company dedicated just to our office? Okay, we talked to the head guy of insurance at HC Best, and he said they did 2,000 term applications last year. Well, Dave and I both said at the same time, like, well, we could do that out of our own office, right? So that's 2,000 apps, the whole company, 4,500 agents. We believe we can do that ourselves as an office. Isn't that crazy? And if you don't think it's possible, I mean, I did 3 life apps in one day last week, right? So it's literally crazy numbers, okay? So here, and this is, oh yeah, you want to pass it out? Here's the numbers I gave you everybody's gonna get one of these, okay? And it's based on your rolling 12 of income, okay, times your contract. So if I'm making 5,000 a year, my contract's at 50%. I'm at 50% till I click over the 7,500 mark, rolling 12. Then my contract goes to 52.5. I don't get paid the extra 2.5% on what I've done. That's new money coming into you, okay? Which is going to help you do what? It's going to help you get closer to $10,000 because now I'm being paid more. And when I cross over 10, I'm going to go bump up to 55. That's the money that's generated to you. Any questions on that? Jenny, you look a little.
Oh, I always look confused.
Oh, okay. Took years to perfect.
My mask.
Right. So let them know you. Any questions on that?
You know what, don't miss the genius of it too.
Yeah.
Guys, look at, seriously, what's a great part-time income? Would you agree 3,000 a month is a great part-time income? 3,000? That's 35,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna get yourself in a $5,000 base. Because every $5,000 you're gonna lose. You get yourself in a $5,000 pace, you're gonna be at 3,000 a month income real quick.
3,000 a month income. I mean, you think about this. How cool would that be in trails?
And you'll be paid more than a Edward Jones, Merrill Lynch, H. Edwards guy.
Yeah, if you're here, you're A.G. Edwards, Edward Jones guys. They're down.
Yeah, they're at 50.
Yeah, they're in the 50s. So you could be one of the best advisors at Edward Jones. You're up here. Okay. Any questions on that?
That's what we're at.
What do we got to do to get it? I need clients, right? Focus on the clients. Learn the stuff that Dave taught you about the mutual funds. Start thinking about what your resources are. Do you know Dave talked about 403Bs? Who do you know? A school teacher. School teachers, right? Talk to these people, and it's planting seeds, right? It's not, can you become my client today? This is what I do. You know how IRAs work? Did you fund your IRA? Questions. But
if they're still teaching, they can't.
They can change advisor. They're not pulling their money out. It's staying in their 403B. You just become the rep on their account.
You can do that?
Yeah. Yep. Ask the guy sitting behind you. He knows how to do that.
I thought it had to, I thought unless they left. you
No.
couldn't do-
No, because you're not doing a transfer or rollover, you're just taking over the account inside the 403B.
They have to use the funds that they're.
Yep, that's why you said Franklin Templeton is an approved fund family. Right, so what would you do? Take over you become the rep on the 403B and you familiarize yourself with Franklin Templeton fund. Make sense?
Hmm.
Nonprofits, right? American funds is coming out, we got 401Ks, companies under 100 employees. Huge growth opportunity, huge. Huge. And in fact, next week I'll probably train on the law that Illinois passed that requires companies that have more than 50 employees to have some type of retirement plan. And that's gonna be sunsetting pretty soon where they have to meet that criteria. I think it's this year or maybe next year, I'll have to find out.
We're supposed to be 16 this summer.
Yeah, right, June or something, June or July, this summer. Right? So you understand, it's coming up.
So they're in
So
place.
you know companies that have more than 50 employees and don't have a retirement plan? That's a great phone call to make. Got it? Any questions on this? Everybody's got their sheet. Dave's got some stuff to hand out. We gotta head over to, what do you call it? Buffalo Wild Wings. All right, that's all we got for tonight. We will see everybody, 4 o'clock on Friday, and then next week, 7 o'clock. Woo! I'll bring it up a lot.
It's not, oh,
It's not done yet.
it's already been open
Ask them for a list of who their provider is.
I'm leaving right now.
All right, see ya.
What'd you say?
Find out who their